is actually Cindy. Say hello to Cindy. And Cindy here was so popular in the Civil War that they wrote a song. They wrote a song about her that I'm going to sing to her. And all you have to do, Cindy, is paint yourself a little pretty. Let me tell you about my Cindy. She lives way down south, and she's so sweet the honeybees swarm around her mouth. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, and I'll marry you someday. The first time I saw Cindy, she was standing at the door, her shoes and stockings in her hand, her bare feet on the floor. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, and I'll marry you someday. Well, Cindy got religion, she had it once before, but when she heard my old banjo, she's the first one on the floor. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, you gotta dance up. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, and I'll marry you someday. All right, listen to this. She took me to her parlor. She cooled me with her fan. She swore I was the prettiest thing in shape of mortal man. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, and I'll marry you someday. Here's the best verse, be sure to watch her face. Well, I wish I was an apple, hanging from a tree. And every time I see that, she'd take a bite of me. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, and I'll marry you someday. Now sing it with me. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, and I'll marry you someday. All right, let's have a hand for Cindy here. All right, now I'm going to tell you a short story and then a song. And this song is on my CD, Bar of the South. But I'm going to tell you the story of the most famous Confederate hog in history. Yes. And she was a little girl, and her name was I'm a Hog. Have you heard of her? Yes, I grew up hearing stories of how the governor of Texas, James Stephen Hogg, had two daughters, one named I'm a Hog and one named You're a Hog. Now, there was no You're a Hog, but there was an I'm a Hog. The way the You're a Hog thing started was by the governor himself, because when Ima would have a friend over, he would introduce the two girls by saying, "This is my daughter, I'm a Hog, and this is her sister, You're a Hog." Well, somebody came over that didn't know he was kidding, and so it spread all over the country about poor Europe. Well, there was no Europe, but there was an Ima, and she had no middle name. When she was young, she was really persecuted because of her name. Can you imagine going to school with the name of I'm a Hog? But she did. She tucked it out. And she was really made fun of and persecuted until... and this is a Civil War story, I'm getting to that. Until the family struck oil in East Texas, and she became very, very rich, and then she became very, very popular. You imagine that? She was actually proposed to 30 times, Miss Ima Hogg was. She did have one fiancé, but he died during the World War I years, and we don't think she ever loved anyone else. Now here's how she got her name of Ima. Of course, Hogg is a Scottish name, H-O-G-G. And what happened was her grandfather, who was with Sam Houston and one of the signers of the Texas Declaration of Independence, was a Confederate general, Joseph Hogg, in Corinth, Mississippi, and he died there. He was buried, and the Yankees desecrated his grave. Well, James Stephen's elder brother was there fighting with the Confederacy under, with his father there. And he was so upset by this grave desecration that he wrote some poems and a novel about the Civil War. And the hero in this account was a young girl named Ima. Well, James Stephen was so moved that he promised that this tribute to his father, that he promised that if he ever had a girl, he would name her Ima in honor of this Confederate hero. And so he had a daughter, and he did name her that. Okay. Of course, the politician in him may have been at work too. I think I'll have a kid named Ima Hogg. He did, and she never changed her name. She was a very generous benefactor to the arts. I wish we had her today, because I know that she would help the Historical Commission with what they're trying to do. And many of the programs that exist in education and arts now were started by her. And so she's great. So I wrote this song about how she got her name. I'm going to play that for you now. This is a song the kids love. Sometimes we have a dance contest with it. And the song is called the Ima Hogg Boogie. There's a lot of strange names a man might give a kid, but none could ever hope to match the one my father did. James S. Hogg was governor of the Lone Star State. But when he named me Ima Hogg, I think he made a mistake. My uncle wrote a poem about the Civil War. The hero's name was Ima, name my father did adore. Without thinking of my future, Daddy did something quite insane. James S. Hogg, the governor, he gave me Ima's name. On the day when I was christened, I'm told the preacher laughed, the way my teachers always did when they call my name in class. My imaginary sister, Papa calls her Ura just for fun. So I'm a hog, you're a hog too. Two hogs are better than one. But I'm the first lady of Texas. In Mineola I was born. 30 men proposed to me. I rejected them with scorn. Yes, my name is Ima Hogg, and I guess it'll always be. But I've got lots of money, so don't make fun of me. And if I'm a hog, you're a hog too. Two hogs are better than one. Now sing that part with me, everyone. If I'm a hog, you're a hog too. Two hogs are better than one. Oh my. And I did a program at the James S. Hogg Middle School in Tyler, Texas. And that's when I got to looking at it and wrote the song, and I thought, this is really cool. And so, got it on my CD and all that. And if you want a picture of Miss Ima Hogg, I will send it to you. She's standing with her father, who's a really big man, okay? And her mother and her three brothers. Two of the little brothers have on their kilts, which I wear a kilt when I do my Scottish program. And Wilson, I was wanting to talk to you about maybe us planning a Celtic festival of some kind down here, in the future. We could, I think that would be pretty good. But anyway, how many of you saw the movie Josie Wales? Okay, if you haven't, you need to see that. It's a really good one. He starts in Missouri, where I was in North Missouri, in that same little Dixie country, the land of the bushwhackers. Of course, with my long hair, I fit right in with that, and jayhawkers. And that was a bloody, bloody area of the war, as I found it as I studied Missouri history. But if you watch the movie Joseph Wales, he leaves Missouri, goes to Texas, they settle in deep South Texas somewhere, and this is a song that they do on that. This is also on my CD. Away from Mississippi's Vale with my old Hapter for a sail, I crossed the Vaughn of Cotton Bale to the Rose of Alabama. Oh, brown rosy, Rose of Alabama, sweet tobacco posy is my Rose of Alabama. I crossed onto the far sand bank, I sat upon a hollow plank, and there I made my banjo twang for the Rose of Alabama. Oh, brown rosy, Rose of Alabama, sweet tobacco posy is my Rose of Alabama. We hugged how long I cannot tell, but Rosie seemed to like it well. But my banjo in the river fell, oh, Rose of Alabama. Oh, brown rosy, Rose of Alabama, sweet tobacco posy is my Rose of Alabama. Like alligator after prey, I jumped right in but floats away, and all the while it seemed to say, oh, Rose of Alabama. Oh, brown rosy, Rose of Alabama, sweet tobacco posy is my Rose of Alabama. Now every day, come rain or shower, I hunt that banjo for an hour and look for my tobacco flower, oh, Rose of Alabama. Oh, brown rosy, Rose of Alabama, sweet tobacco posy is my Rose of Alabama. So fare thee well, Eliza Jane, oh, fare thee well, ye bells of Spain, your charms will all be put to shame by the Rose of Alabama. Oh, brown rosy, Rose of Alabama, sweet tobacco posy is my Rose of Alabama. I don't know, and there's a ton of songs that were quite popular here during the Civil War, and I do one, and of course, when I tell the story of Emily Morgan, the Mexican War, the Yellow Rose of Texas, well, the Civil War guys added a verse, and it talks about down along the Rio Grande, and actually they added a couple of verses to the original song, and like that. Well, listen, I'm going to stop now. You guys have been great. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope you enjoyed the songs, and I hope I made you think about some stories. But find some stories of the Valley and share them with us. Thank you so much, guys. Okay.